Welcome back. Joining us again is Dana Trent, and we're talking about the impact that winter has on those struggling with the loss of a loved one. Winter is kind of a dismal season, is it not?
It is.
There is something called seasonal affective disorder. Please explain, what is that?
Yes, so that is a real condition that can be diagnosed at your primary care physician's office, but essentially seasonal affective disorder means that you have a temporary seasonal depression that usually comes in the early fall and starts to go away in the spring or early summer. 3 million Americans have SAD each year, and the further away from the equator you are, the more likely you are to have
Sure.
SAD, which makes sense, right?
It does.
Also, if you have any family history of depression or anxiety, you're more susceptible to SAD. Females and younger adults are also more susceptible to SAD.
But why winter, though? Is it just the
Great question.
no trees, leaves no on trees, and then just everything's dead? Is that
Yes.
it? Cold?
That's certainly part of it. So there's quite a few factors. That's it for certain. Things are dying. There's less light, so we receive less vitamin D. We are indoors more, which means that we are more isolated and our world becomes a bit smaller, especially if you're a person who likes to be outdoors, gardening, or that's how you get your exercise. If you can no longer run outside because it's too cold, you aren't as likely to exercise. And so there's many factors that contribute to SAD, but there's also many things we can do to help cope with SAD.
Well, let's focus on that. What can we do for those who are suffering from it?
Yes. Well, certainly if you feel hopelessness for more than 2 weeks and it gets to be very severe, seek out professional help. Visit your primary care physician. But there's also a few other things that you can do in addition to taking medication. You can order what's called a light box that you can actually put in your home, and it provides light and vitamin D for you that you cannot get outside this time of year.
Does that make a difference?
It does.
It really does?
It really does make a
Wow.
difference, yes. And even if it's a placebo effect, we know how the brain works, and we know that placebo effect even makes a difference in our lives as well. So the light box, seeking out medication, increasing your vitamin D during this season, and also actually joining a gym. So if you cannot exercise outdoors, join our local YMCA or our local gym, and that gets you indoors exercising, but it also helps you meet people and be in community, because one of the tendencies with SAD is to isolate ourselves, to stay at home, stay inside, because it is dark, it's cold, and that just compounds the symptoms of depression, insomnia, and all the various things that go with SAD.
Well, we used to call that cabin fever.
Yes.
I hail from Wisconsin, so you have 6 months of dreariness. You really do, and it does weigh on you. And for those who are suffering from a loss, does that compound what they're going through?
It absolutely does, because not only are you in the midst of grief, you have the holiday season and you have winter. So it's like a triple whammy of things coming together all at once. And so for people who are grieving a loss, have SAD, and are coping with the holiday season, it's all the more important for them to practice radical self-care during this season.
So just don't pull the blanket over your head and go back to sleep.
That's right, even though it's so tempting to do
Which
that.
sure is.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. So we have the dreariness of winter.
Yes.
And then you have that compounded by a loss. Actually, I'm feeling a little down right now. No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. I'm really not. But because I think this is good information. Because you have answers to, I know, what is a lot of questions for people who are going through this. I know I've had these questions. So let's try to look at the positive side of this. We have the holiday season. It generally is a good time for most people. So we're suffering from loss, and we have the dreariness of winter. What do we do?
You know, it's a great time to actually seek out new things. It's a good time to change the routine up, to try a new hobby, to go somewhere different. And it's also a really good time to do things for others. We don't often think about that, but when we are feeling down, whether it's from grief, holiday season, or SAD, getting out of our own shell to do something for someone else is really important, and it uplifts us. We talked about, going to visit our local healthcare facilities, our local nursing homes, visiting someone who is homebound because of medical issues. Those are all really important things to do. Even when we don't feel like doing them, we often find that when we do them, we feel better.
We do, don't we? It was interesting. There was a show, and it had to do with homeless people, and they asked him, what are you thankful for? and they were thankful for an awful lot. They had a big
Yes.
smile on their face.
Yes.
And this is the time of year when most people say, all right, let's go feed the homeless, let's go do something. It's too bad we don't carry that year round. It's really something that, and you're right, and when you do something for someone else, it does make you feel good. And for the lonely out there, and I know there are lonely people right now, what difference could it make in their lives to have someone other than their family who may or may not stop in this time of year? What do you say to them, though? They're alone. Maybe it's a medical condition. Maybe they're in a nursing home or something. Is there an upside for them?
Yes, that's a great question. I think you acknowledge how difficult it is. You acknowledge that it's difficult to be homebound, it's difficult to be ill, and it's a difficult season. And when you offer your listening ear for someone who needs it, who is lonely, that can make a tremendous difference in their lives, even if it's just your next door neighbor. If you stop in for some coffee or tea or to watch a show with them, just merely being present, that can make a huge difference.
It really can. Dana, what a pleasure. Thank you
Thank you.
for taking time for us. Hey, and thank you too for watching. We hope you've enjoyed today's show. If you have any questions or would like to know more, visit our website at raleighcw.com and myrdctv.com. I'm Bill LeMay. Thank you for watching Community Matters. We'll see you next week.